Hey everyone, welcome to the Midfielders edition of the top fives, going through each of the positions in preseason, what I'd say would be the top five. We might even have to do an extra one with coaches this year for the format that Kickist uses. If you haven't seen the defenders and keepers one yet, feel free to go into the channel. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, but we'll get started with midfielders. One midfielder that if you're hoping I was going to talk about, I'm not going to too much, other than to say that he would not be in my team and make my list, is Nico Pats. He's very highly owned, it looks like. But he's very expensive, and for the team he plays for, I don't think I'd have him taking up one of my midfielder spots. I'm trying to save money in my midfield, it looks like. And while he was a great budget option last year, I'm not sure that he will have the same effect for our teams as a premium option. But we will move on to my top five, starting with Scott McTominay, and I have to give credit where it's due. He had a great season last year. Um, he scored very well in Kickus, looking at the database, but he's not really particularly the type of midfielder I'd go to at all, let alone at the premium price of 20 credits. That's going to really eat at your budget. Very expensive, and I have always known him to be slightly more defensive, although he did get a lot of attacking returns last year, for sure, assists and goals alike. But he's just not my kind of fantasy player, and what you could probably say why your fan type of fantasy player is not one that gets points. Well, yeah, that's fine. But when I look for a position player in the midfield, I'm looking for someone that plays higher up. A lot of the wingers are classified as forwards in the Kickist game. And so I'm looking for a midfielder that's going to play a little bit more attacking, get those points. And while McTominay's kind of defied position for a defensive midfielder and got a lot of points, he's not someone I'm going to be paying 28 credits on. There's probably only two premium um, midfielders that I would be willing to splash the cash for, and one of them is Nico Barella, and the other one is going to be Kevin De Bruyne. Nicolo Barella is an assist machine. He generally ticks along. I find his effect in fantasy is very similar to that of like Saka if you were to be playing fantasy Premier League. It's not very explosive, but it's relatively consistent. He's often feeding the balls through to either the wingers, or the wingbacks, or Lautaro Martinez or Tremors. He's normally where the ball is going through to get to these attacking positions, and he scores the odd goal himself. So Nicolo Barella is an option. Again, I'm trying to keep my midfield light on the credit spending, so probably won't start with him, but definitely an option worth considering. The next two, three and two, I would not say are necessarily better players than four, five, McTominay, and some of the others that you might find, even Nico Pats or stuff like that. But they are more budget options to try to keep the cost down, and they have Serie A experience. So we'll move on to number three, which is a returner to Serie A, Federico Bernardeschi. I don't know if it's biased based on him playing in Toronto and doing quite well in Toronto. Um, but I do think that he's going to be good for the Bologna side. He still has a lot to offer teams, and he will play in one of those wing spots, and it's hard to find the midfielders that are playing more so on the wings. In the Kickus game. Also coming in at 12.5, so significantly more of a budget option than what we've seen so far. Again, if we do that divided by two to see what it would cost in a 100 million game, this is only 6.25, so it's actually a relatively good price for him, I think. He's trying to keep Bologna as one of those more elite sides, and he's an attacking player. So I think it's a great price, and you can bench him if you really need to. At that price point, I don't see when you would too often, but it is an option as well. And number two, he's a throwback from Atalanta, did really great in Atalanta, and is coming in only at a price of 10 credits. Ruslan Malinovskyi. He was a great player for Atalanta, coming back into a Genoa side where I do think he will take on more of a talismanic role, where he will be the go-to player at Genoa, and he has always been an attacking player. He's had success in Serie A, he's proven, and he's going to be great for your budget. This would be a 5.0 million player in a $100 million budget. And he's had a good preseason, already scored a goal or two, I think. Um, And yeah, I don't see any reason as to why he will not be on my team. I think he will definitely feature. And again, he could just feature on the bench. If Genoa is facing an Inter, a Juve, a Napoli, easy bench choice there, and he's not breaking your bank. And I think the only must-have premium midfielder in our team should be Kevin De Bruyne. He still, I think, has a lot to give. And he is more of your attacking cam midfielder that will be just feeding balls through to Lukaku to finish off or either of the wingers. I do think his style fits Serie A as he is a ball distributor, where he's not going to be making the over-the-top run. And he's playing for Napoli. Like they have all the attacking options that you could want. So even though it's a price of 20.5 credits, he is the most expensive midfielder, but I do think that price is worth it. And we do know De Bruyne to be quite injury prone when he played for Manchester City. But if he gets injured, you can literally go to any other midfielder in the game that you need. So I don't think that's as much of a concern. And you get 5 transfers every single week. So I wouldn't necessarily worry too much on having to spend a transfer there if you need to. And you can go down there from to a McTominay to a Potts to a Barella, like because he is the ceiling when it comes to midfielders. So that is part of the reason why I don't want to spend too much on my midfield because I do want De Bruyne on my squad, and therefore I'm looking for budget options elsewhere. I might even end up having a non-playing midfielder that for really, really cheap just to make room for De Bruyne. And I do want to spend more in my attack, which we'll hopefully take a look at tomorrow because uh, there are some premium options there and some good attackers that I want that are both wingers and strikers. Anyway, that is my top five. We had McTominay, Barella, Bernardeschi, Malinovskyi, and De Bruyne. Um, Let me know what you think. Obviously, there may be some players, there's some better players than what I had in there, but I try to take price point in it. In the last 2 videos, I haven't had many cheaper options, so I try to provide some cheaper options today as well. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you again soon. Take care.